know you heard me on the radio. Flexing, she loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K. I know you heard me on the radio. Flexing, she loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K.
Fury fam, man, it's a losing Tuesday night. And we knew it was going to be a losing Tuesday night when the refs started doing what they did, but I'm not going to blame the refs. I'm just saying that even the mainstream media, even un-Dolphins affiliated media is talking about it. Doesn't mean that that's why we lost the game, and I'll tell you why. I mean, you look at the blown call on the face mask, stuff like that. I mean, we have the pick 6 right after that. So that's 7 points. We got it. Don't tell me that we're going to kick it off and he's still going to throw that exact same pick 6 in the exact same way. That's the butterfly effect, man. Things happen. They change games. There was plenty in that game. Plenty in that game that was on us. Plenty in that game that we could have done better. And some of it was a personal execution standpoint, and some of it was more schematic and a coaching standpoint. First of all, if you're in this chat right now, smash the like button. Smash the subscribe button. I am still on lockdown by YouTube. We're hearing other cats are getting locked down too. It's straight craziness out here with YouTube, man. We got to free Larry. I got to get some merchandise up, but I've been so damn busy that I haven't been able to do it. I'm too busy watching the Dolphins, screaming and yelling about them, everything else. And I'll be down in Miami this Sunday, God willing, to watch the game with some of these cats you guys see on the show with me, man. So smash that like button. I'll throw a Cash App a little bit later if you guys want to help out. But it is what it is, man. You know, Lucci's out here, Shake's out here, I'm out here. We're doing things for you guys. Greg's out here, and I'm still trying to get G's videos up. I'm working on it. We started an email process this week now. I'm going to try to use that to get his videos up post-game right away with my reaction videos as well. I was tuned into Crypto and Shake last night for a little bit, man, too. So we're doing a lot of things. So if you want to support, hit subscribe, hit like. I'll toss the cash up a little later. But look, I'm going to say a few things. I'm going to bring everybody up. This team, remember, this is a show me season, right? You want to see what this team is, and I'm objective, and we're going to go week by week with this team. And thus far, if you take the season as a whole, now, number one, I did predict the games as they went. I didn't predict the scores preseason, but I predicted wins and losses. And every game that I said we would win, we won so far. And every game that I said we'd lose, we lost so far. That being said, what is the team showing me? The team, as of right now, and don't get all upset, as of right now, they're showing me that they are not still ready. They are still not the caliber, whether that's coaching, whether that's culture, whether that's personnel. Maybe it's a combination, and probably is a combination of all of that. They are not ready to be at that upper echelon. That's what they've shown me so far. Every time a big-time game comes up, they don't just lose. And now, look, we played much better against Philly than we played against Buffalo. And Philly looks to be a better team than Buffalo based upon how the season's kind of gone now. Then again, remember, Buffalo had some injuries after our game. But as of right now, we don't bring it against the teams that are upper echelon that we need to bring it against if we really want to be. Forget about the media taking it seriously. Forget about the satisfaction we get when we turn on national heads and they're talking about things they don't even know about anyway and saying we're good. This week, they weren't even bashing us that hard, to be honest with you. But forget them. If we want a championship, if we want a Super Bowl championship as fans, then we aren't there yet based on the season so far. They've shown me they're not there. Now, I will tell you this, and one thing is promising and one thing worries me a little bit. The defense was much better this week. Fangio's schemes are starting to percolate a little bit. They're starting to get through a little bit. Chubb's even starting to get through a good amount. The defense played well against Philly. In fact, at least Well, obviously 7 points, and you could argue 10 points came from the defense. And that's good news because you want the defense to be good, especially without X and Ramsey. You get Ramsey and X back, that defense could be formidable. Then again, let's see it again because Fangio consulted for the Eagles, man. So I hope that wasn't just because he knew what was up with them. I don't think it was, but you got to put that little caveat in. You have to. Now, I thought the defense played well, man. But here's what scares me. That's 2 times in a row. I know everybody says we were going toe-to-toe with Buffalo the first 2 drives. We did, but we were struggling to do it. The line was collapsing a little too, was struggling to get to his reads, etc. This game, the plays were there on certain occasions, right? The wide open touchdown, the walk-in touchdown that was to Tyreek Hill that Tyreek just dropped. That wasn't good. You know, the interception that Tua threw, I know there was some interference on the back end, but that ball shouldn't have been thrown, and that ball definitely shouldn't have been thrown the way he threw it, which was under pressure, duress, trying to force it in there. Now, Tua worked hard that game. I liked Tua's game that game. I thought Tua had a pretty decent game. But it seems that collectively, whether you're talking about preparation from the coaching staff on offense, whether you're talking about our star player, Tyreek Hill, dropping a pass, or our star quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, throwing the ball in a really inopportune time in a really inopportune place, it seems that collectively, not just one player, does this team collectively have a killer edge? Does this team collectively have what it takes in the big moments when the light's on them against the best teams collectively to come together and win these games? Now, I know our offensive line is in shambles, and whenever you have Liam Eichenberg ever at center against maybe the best D-line in football, you're not going to do too well. But that doesn't mean that Tyreek shouldn't have caught that ball for the touchdown. That doesn't mean Tua shouldn't have thrown that inopportune interception. And guess what? If they don't do those things and they complete those passes, despite the referees, despite how good Philly is, despite all that, we're right in that game much more than we were in the game that we watched. Now, defense played well, but here's another thing. And what up, Fred? What up, everybody? Hit subscribe, hit like. Free Larry, man. Listen, there were certain plays where Jalen Hurts, bro, he just beat us. There were 2 times we should have had a sack, including on a touchdown play. That was either 3rd or 4th down. And Fangio called a great play. The guys did their job to get in there and get right on him, but they just straight up got beat physically. Hurts got out of there. I don't blame him per se. He's athletic and shifty. They're big old defensive linemen. But he beat him. So collectively as a team, do we have what it takes to win a championship? We got another test in 2 weeks. And that 2 weeks, I wouldn't take that for granted because this week we have a division rival high off of beating another division rival of ours. Want to get us back for beating them in their house. Have a prideful coach, a prideful organization, and they are going to see whatever Philly saw, and they're going to try to emulate whatever Philly and Buffalo did to us that slowed down our offense. So you can't take that game for granted either. But then we got another test against the Chiefs. The Chiefs is a lot more important than the Eagles because the Chiefs game can go a long way in deciding playoff seeding. And I'm telling you right now, this particular team, as of now, this could change as I see more because it's show me season. As the season progresses, perhaps this team can win on the road in January. But as of right now, they can't. So you better get as many home games in the playoffs as you possibly can if you think you're going to make a legitimately deep run. So you better win this neutral site game against the Chiefs. And I bet you're going to have Connor Williams back at least. I bet you're going to have X back. And I bet you're going to have Ramsey back. That doesn't solve the Kelsey problem. But with those guys on the outside, you could scheme something to solve the Kelsey problem. And my final thing is just simply this. And then I'll bring up the guys. We'll do our bells and whistles. We'll do our little segments. Mike McDaniel is an absolutely awesome offensive coordinator. He's a great play designer. He's a very good play caller. Even in this game, I didn't think he was terrible calling plays. He had Mostert run in the second half, even though they were stifling him in the first. However, the jury's out on whether he's a good head coach. Because head coaching goes to motivation. Head coaching goes to discipline. Head coaching goes to preparation. Head coaching, most importantly, goes to accountability. And I don't love what I hear from him after losses, nor do I love the team. Now, we're got Hard Knocks coming up. So we're going to see if that's just an act and behind closed doors they are upset. But I want a guy like a Zach Thomas. I heard on the Big O show or something like, oh, Zach Thomas used to take losses really hard. Man, I want a guy who slams his tablet, slams his helmet, can't stand a loss, hates losing. Because you know who hated losing to a psychotic level? Michael Jordan. You know who hated losing to a psychotic competitive level? Tom Brady. You know who hates losing so he's a friggin' curmudgeon asshole? Bill Belichick. You know what they have in common? Multiple championships. So I don't want to hear, well, it's just another game, it's just a game and you just get better. And I don't want to hear the guys reflecting that saying, well, it's just a game, we'll get better. Because that's why the Bills and the Eagles didn't feel that way and ate your lunch in front of your mom, wife, and kids. You can't do that. So I'm not saying it yet. I'm just saying, show me season. I'm going to take in the information as it comes. Mike McDaniel, genius offensive coordinator, genius. But does his personality, his presentation, and his style make him a championship caliber head coach? The jury's out, and it's going to be a shame if it doesn't. And he doesn't get some kind of assistant. I don't know how Studsville is, an assistant head coach who can really lay down the wood if he has to, so that he can keep running the team with the offense. Because it'd be a real shame if he didn't work out because of that and he went somewhere else and became a genius because he fixed it. I don't know. I'm just saying. The jury's out, and I just don't know if this team collectively has the edge. Now, we could talk about the refs because they were blatantly biased. We could talk about, Philly being a really good team because they are. Philly playing us good, the stupid tush-push nonsense. We could talk about all of it. But I still think this team leaves something to be desired in these big games so far. Buffalo and Philly. Granted, they were both on the road. Let's see how we play teams on neutral sites and at home. But we got Baltimore later in the year. We got Dallas, man. They got multiple chances to show me. They better show me. And whoever's on Facebook said refs didn't help us, but they didn't beat us. I agree. Smash subscribe. Smash the like button. Let's go. Let's get it popping. This is LG Shake and the panel with LG and Shake and Lucci. And we got a special guest for you today. And he was at the game from what I understand. So we are going to get some firsthand perspective. I'm looking at my background here. I'm waiting for this guy because you know what it's time for. It's time for the intro, man. And I want to hear this intro because this is not going to be as pleasant as it's been the last couple of weeks. This is G, and this is what G's going to give you.
Let's go down to the referee on the play. Holding. Offense, number 66. 10-yard penalty, still third down. Roughing the passer. Defense, number 94. Automatic, first down. Pass interference. Defense, number 73. Automatic, first down. There is no flag on the play for pass interference on the defense. What's good, everybody? How we all doing? I'm just doing what the refs did on Sunday night.
That's all they did, right, G?
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Those refs were blatantly calling the game one-sided, and it's a real shame. I know there's a lot of conspiracy theories about the guys and all that, and you could read about them on your own because I don't want to get too far down that rabbit hole. But it was blatantly bad, and I'll tell you what, there was an even more egregious game earlier that day with the Colts, man. The Colts were straight up robbed, bro. So this is getting out of hand with these refs. Like, you want to call a game that's not always totally fair and there's some questionable stuff, fine. But you want to start like, and that was the same with the Jets and the Chiefs, even though I can't stand the Jets, like, stop waiting till the play's over. And if the defense or somebody makes an extremely awesome game-changing play, you decide, well, I wasn't going to call it, but since they had a great play, now I'm going to call it and negate the play. That's nonsense. I've had it. It ruins the game for everybody, G. I'm tired of it, bro.
They got me heated on Sunday night. I
don't blame you.
I'd rather lose than the refs do crap.
I get it. But listen, we got something else we got to do.
The good. The bad. The ugly.
Let us have it, Shake.
So let's say the good. The good was the fact that at the end of the day, Tua was making good throws. He didn't fold under pressure. The bad was we lost. And the ugly was the referees called 3 horrible games. They robbed 3 teams. And I tell you what, look, I'm gonna put it to you like this. You know, I love analogies. I'm gonna give you another one. When you see your son taking $1 out of your wallet and you don't say nothing, he's gonna go for 5. And you don't say nothing, eventually he's gonna go for that 100. I say that to say this: the time to bitch about the referees wasn't last week. It was when the fucking New Orleans games, when New Orleans got robbed of that Super Bowl trip. That's when we should have started bitching, because at the end of the day, they got away with that. They kept getting the wheel keeps getting bigger, the lines keep getting blurred. So that's when we should have been bitching, not last week. We don't bitch when it happens to us. We bitch when it happens to somebody else, because at the end of the day, if it happens to somebody else, it's gonna happen to you. So at the end of the day, it's your bed. Now fucking sleep in it. Sorry, that's how I call it. And at the end of the day, another thing that me and you were just gonna have a disagreement on is everybody's laying in Eichenberg about the snaps. Guess what? Last year, Connor Williams' first year as center, he had similar problems happen to him at least once or twice a game. This is his first year at center. Yesterday, I could honestly say he wasn't beat. He didn't really get. It was Reddick and the other ends, and who does that fall on? The offensive tackles, like the whatever his name was, who was called for the holding. That TD will never forget. He has his name plastered on the fucking wall. But at the end of the day, man, listen, that's the bottom line. Is as far as the referees, we should have put a kibosh to it years ago, and now we're crying because it happened to us. So that's how I feel about it.
Wayne Knight, by the way, until those 2 botched snaps in the fourth quarter, was playing really good.
Yeah, that wasn't playing terrible, but I still think without Connor in there with that extra aggression, you lose something, man. It's a drop off on the line.
Yeah, Cotton, by the way, Chris Cotton. Yeah,
he was rough, man. Yes.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate you, Chris Fitness.
So anyway,
I got some memes still.
I got you. Yeah, I want to bring up Lucci for the meme segment. So let's get the memes going, and then we're gonna do hear Lucci's thoughts, and I want to bring up our guest, man.
Of course, I'm gonna do a nice intro. But anyway, after New England lost, they put out another book. And as a matter of fact, I have a page here. Here is a chapter 12 of the book.
That's them. That is them, bro. That really is. Like, they're trying to find every reason which way how they can salvage themselves and why they lost.
All right. We have like I said, again, I don't blame the referees, so please take this with a grain of salt. The jersey swap.
That makes perfect sense.
And then, of course, we have the other referees in the game.
And they couldn't see a damn thing when they did it.
Nope.
Yeah. And you know what they say, you got to laugh at yourself, right? So here we go.
That's true, bro. That's true. I mean, that is what it is, bro. That's the truth.
So,
That's sad but true. It's sad but true.
I appreciate that, man.
Make sure you guys hit subscribe, by the way.
You know, it sucks. You know, we're going to call frauds out here. You know, I honestly don't care if we're losing to these winning teams. You want to know why? Because when we make the playoffs, that's when it counts, when you beat these beating teams. So I'm not going to lose to all these winning teams. That means we get them back in the playoffs.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, we're still in first place, and we have a chance. If we win these next 2 games, we'll be first in the conference. So,
hey, I just want to give a shout out to my guy Dylan. With his my boy Josh Allen is trash. As you know what I told y'all, you know, my guy's big. He even has a shirt that says Josh Allen is, and it has like a stick figure throwing the trash in the trash can. Yo, that guy plays to the level of his competition, man. It is what it is, you know. But big shout out to my brother Dylan. Thanks for being.
I've been on Twitter and telling my friends Josh Allen's overrated, the most overrated player in the league. I get laughed at. They weren't laughing at me Sunday, that's for sure.
Yeah, that took some of this thing out.
No, I get it, man. I get it. Give me 1 second, guys, but keep going. Lucci, I want to hear your thoughts, man. Tell the people your whole thought.
And just I mean, nobody on this show is a stranger to my thought process, man. You know, people could question Tua. I'm one of them. My doubts lie in Mike McDaniel more than anybody on this team. Simple and plain, man. I know it's only his second year, but I see a lot of the same stuff happening this year that happened last year. Coaches correct their wrongs, players correct their wrongs, people in life, you know, like Larry said, man, you know, all that, you know, it's a game, we learn and this and that, man. Come on, man. Miss me with all the bullshit. I don't really it's too much, there's too much skinning and grinning with Mike McDaniel, too much shucking and jiving, and too much laugh, you know, the jokes, man. It's corny to me at this point, man. That first play of the game kind of let me know when Tua was standing there dumbfounded. I mean, he was standing there. He wasn't even in the position, like he acted like he was getting ready for the play. If you go back and watch that first play, he's just standing there like this, looking around, waiting for the clock to tick down. We get the delay of game. It's like, come on, man. You know, I don't know. It's we weren't prepared. It seemed like he played a little bit of chess. I agree with you. He's a great offensive coordinator. Maybe he would be a great offensive coordinator, head coach. You know, I'm just not a person that's flashed, you know, the 70 points, all the great accolades we're getting. Man, forget them accolades. Dan Marino's to me is the greatest quarterback ever. Guess what? He broke every record in the book, and he did it faster than anybody. That's another record to hold that can't be broken, how quick he did it. And guess what? He don't have a Super Bowl ring. You know, who cares about the accolades ultimately?
Yeah. Yeah, because look, at the end of the day, stats are for the name in the back, not the name in the front.
Yeah, who cares? Exactly. Who cares the stats, man? You know what I mean? It's just I don't give a shit about, sorry, part of my language. I don't care about the accolades, you know. And you know, I don't know. It's just that, and I'm going to tell you something else that bothers me about him. We've won the coin toss almost every game this year. We've won the coin toss. This guy defers every time. Like we're the Killer Bees defense, and you know, back in the day or the 2000 Ravens defense. Like we're some type of ultimate, or you know, why do you keep deferring? Now, if we're playing these bum teams, and I'll say it, miss me with the Any Given Sunday, the Carolina Panthers, you know, the Giants, I'll give a little bit of, you know, they got the ball over there, they got some players, but they didn't have them with us. They didn't have Saquon. They were missing 3 offensive linemen. They're bums. You know, teams like that, I could see you want to take the ball or, you know, to give it to them. Who cares? Because we're going to run them down anyway. But the Buffalo game, we won the coin toss. We deferred. In this game, especially this game against Philadelphia, we won the coin toss and we deferred. Listen, man, every team has jitters in the beginning of the game. It's natural. Especially in this type of game. The Eagles, they're coming off a loss to the Jets, who some people will say is a bum team, but they got a good defense, but they got Zach Wilson. They don't really have too much going on offense. You could consider them a lesser opponent. They lost to them. They were embarrassed by them. Here they come. Wasn't that a primetime game, if I'm not mistaken? I don't know. I didn't watch it.
The Jets Eagles were 4:00.
Was it a 4:00?
Yeah.
But maybe it was America's game. It might have still been the one that was televised more than any other 4:00 game. Either way, they were embarrassed by the Jets because they're supposed to be an upper echelon team. There's going to be jitters. Here come the Dolphins, who score a bunch of points on everybody. There's going to be jitters, man. Jalen Hurts, he's got a thing against Tua. I don't care who says he doesn't. This guy replaced him and made him lose his job in Alabama. He had to go to Oklahoma. There's a bunch of stuff going on. Take the ball. Take the ball. They don't know what to expect yet. The opening drive of the game is clutch for the simple fact of there's no groove to the game yet. So you don't know what's going to be called, what's going to be stopped. Normally, you could see, like we did the first half of the game, our running up the middle wasn't working. I'm screaming at the TV. Dylan was there. He saw it. Oh, run the ball outside. We're speed to the outside. We got monsters we're fighting against in the middle. Take it outside. Well, the second half, he did it. Maybe McDaniel's just playing chess to see, okay, we're going to try to do something they don't expect running up the middle. Whatever. The case may be is you get the ball, you run up there, you score a touchdown, and make them play catch up. Now the pressure's on them. Especially since we're missing our whole secondary and we're missing 2 or 3 offensive linemen. Take the ball, don't defer, score a touchdown, and make them play catch up and put the pressure on them. They already have so many things in their favor. Little did we know the refs were going to be on their team too. And I get what you're saying and what Larry said. We got to understand that the refs, sometimes it's bad calls. And listen, sometimes is a bad call. One play call decides the game. That's cool. Man, we had a whole bunch of plays. Mm-hmm. Some that were BS calls that Wilkins was not roughing the passer. That was a BS call. And then how many non-calls on the Eagles? This ain't just a one not call or a one call that decided the game. That shit was totally one-sided, lopsided. But still, with all our injuries, with all those bad calls, we fought, man. We stayed in the game all the way till the end. And I don't give a damn what anybody. I'm not a Tua super supporter like some people. Tua hung in. He kept us in that game. It was because of Tua we stayed in that game. Tyreek, tighten your game up in these close games. Because I'll tell you what, both games against Buffalo, and I'm Tyreek is MVP of the team guy. And I'll stand on that. Both games against Buffalo last year, he had some clutch drop passes that cost us those games that might have had a different outcome. One with Skyler, one with Tua, where we could have won those games had he have held on to them passes. And he had another one against San Diego last year when there was another that wasn't with Jalen Phillips roughing the passer call. That was a BS roughing the passer call that might have decided that game, but that was just one call. And Tyreek dropped the pass there that could have decided the change of that game. Tyreek's got to tighten up in these clutch games. Other than that, Mike McDaniel kick the field goal. You know what I'm saying? When you take those, you leave those points on the field, and I'll wrap it up here, Shakes.
Okay, I got you. No, you good.
When you leave those points on the field and you want to go for it on fourth, when we're in a field goal situation and there's already been enough time in the game, you see how these are. Now, a lot of those players were merited by us. The delay of games, the holdings, Cotton, like my guy mentioned. There was a ton of those penalties against us. Again, comes to coaching, poor discipline that were merited. We played sloppy and still stayed in the game the whole time. However, you see how the team's playing, you see how the refs are calling the game, and you see how the game's going. At this point, you take what you can get. It's still the first half, and you live to fight another day. He's always in desperation mode. I've been saying it since the beginning of the season. You got to get out of that. Kick the field goal. It was a blatant pass interference, face mask, whatever you want to call it. Who cares? Don't leave that up to the refs. It's this point of the game. It's not pivotal. It's not do or die. One more thing. Vic Fangio, I disagree with my guy Larry. There was some good play calling. Listen, that tush push play, how many times did they run it down our throat? How many times? There was a trillion times that game where we had them 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 9, 3rd and what do? We're playing 10 yards off the receivers. I get it. It's A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. And maybe the first couple of times, cool. But when it's getting down to clutch time, forget all that cushion. I don't give a damn if Nickerson, Eli Apple, and whoever the hell else was playing cornerback. If they're going to get burnt, we're going to get burnt. Because guess what? This tush push is a guaranteed first down. At that point, we should have been playing press, no coverage. Because you're playing this 10-yard, you give them the 6 or 7 they need, leave them with 1 or 2, and they're getting the 1 or 2 yards easy, breezy, Japanesey every time. Why wasn't there an adjustment made with that? Throw the kitchen sink and play press. If we get burnt, whatever, because we're losing anyways, and we're losing this tush-push battle. There should have been an adjustment made with that. There should have been press. That was bozo stuff. Coaching is terrible, and I give it to our players stuck in there and fought, man. You know what it is. Yeah.
Listen, going back to McGenius.
McLovin.
Yeah. You know, I hate deferring, but I get it why. When you're home, unless you're playing like a big boy team, you should be deferring. When you are the road team, no matter if it's a big game, no matter if it's a poo-poo team, take the ball first. Go up 7-0, go up 3-0, go up whatever, because it takes the crowd noise out of it. If we got the ball first, we go down and get a touchdown. The Philly fans are semi-quiet, you know?
And all the pressure's on them, Greg.
And all the pressure's on them.
We go up there with so much pressure on us. Help relieve us some of the pressure from the team, Greg.
Exactly.
Thank you,
Get
bro.
the pressure off Tua.
Why don't you see that?
And then back to the tush push thing. There was opportunities. It was like 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9. They would allow them to get the yardage to get to 1 yard. And basically Nick Sirianni said in his press conference, it's basically 1st and 9 for them. So if you're allowing them to get to that 1 or inches, they're gonna do it. It's automatic for them. You can't do that. You gotta stop them on those 3rd and 8s and whatnot. You can't allow
do anything. Press. I don't give a damn if you bring an extra corner, leave a receiver open, send 7 guys on a blitz, and the other 2 press and leave nothing over the top. Who gives a damn? At that point, you have to do something to stop that. And we were getting at Jalen Hurts. It's not like he was just shining on us. Yo, them couple of plays Larry was talking about where he did the escape. Man, if there would have been another 1 or 2 guys over there, he wouldn't have escaped. Come on, man. Terrible coaching. Tua side hotline, he finally said something I agree with. McMoron. The guy does a lot of cornball stuff, and it's in his personality. Could he end up being okay? I don't know. But I'll tell you this. After watching Tua that game, that boosted my morale with Tua. Tua did that one pass was, it was suspect. I'll give you that. That interception didn't lose us the game, though. But I'll tell you what. I'm still McDaniel constantly. My confidence in him goes down every game we play, even the ones we win. I see certain shit that I'm like, what are you doing? And when we play good teams, that's going to show. And when we play good teams, it shows. Everybody's like, we're your bitch and we won. What do you care? What do you mean? I'm watching. What games do you guys? I'm watching. Even when we're winning, I'm critiquing certain things like, man, because I get it. We're taking out the trash. Cool story, bro. But there has to be a point when there's certain stuff, man, that's going to bite you when you play. And it's proven with Buffalo, and it's proven with Philly. And it's going to continue proving. And one guy, Larry forgot to mention, we'll get back, is Nick Needham. That's going to matter. And, we get these guys back, it matters. And maybe Vic Fangio can tighten us up when we get these other guys back. McDaniel, man, I'm telling you. I ain't sold out on Fangio yet because this guy's playing with a bunch of, injuries. McDaniel, come on, man. Your second year in, here we go again. He didn't
Yep.
run this game. He stuck with it, and he just changed up the gameplay with the run. And I like that. Now that made me happy. But he's too much skinning and grinning, man. We're undisciplined. A lot of those penalties were merited. I'm more pissed about the non-calls on Philly than I was, except for the Christian Wilkins roughing the passer.
Who should be traded, by the way? Anyway.
Sorry, I had a work call, fellas, but stuff is crazy out here, man. And now, woo, crazy week. Plus, because I'm coming down there this weekend to see you guys.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, don't let me interrupt what was going on here just because
No.
down. The hell cares about me sitting down?
Are you ready to introduce this special guest?
Yeah, you do the honors, man. I mean,
Of
he's
course.
been back there.
Hey, man, listen. Yeah. This man, like Will Smith, from Philadelphia, born and raised. He's the coolest brother, not just by last name, but I got to meet him on Fan Weekend. I tell you what, man, it was an honor and privilege to actually shake his hand. The one, the only, from West Coast Dolphins, helping hands. Like he says, peace, love, and fins up. My man, Dolphin Winters. What's going on?
What's up, brother? How you guys doing the evening? What's going on, my man Lucci in the place?
How
I'm
you doing?
honored, man.
Good to see you.
Damn.
Sorry,
I'm a Southerner full of a room full of Yankees. God damn.
Well, no, I'm from I'm up north, bro. You ain't saying nothing. Shoot, I ain't no Yankee, bro.
I know. I'm the only Southerner here.
Shout out Larry K. It's an honor and privilege to finally be on your show, my friend. I've been watching you for years, man. So it's an honor to be on here with you. And Gary, it's an honor to be on here with you too. I've watched you for years as well. So it's an honor to be on here with all y'all, man. Definitely. And thank you, Shake. Sure. I appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. And glad to have you up and glad to have you on, man. Looking forward to the conversation tonight.
All right. Where y'all want to start at?
Well, you tell us where you want. I mean, what's on your mind
about? I mean, I've listened to everything that everybody said, and I agree to disagree with a little bit, but not all. Anthony definitely sat there and brought up a lot of points, and he has every right to feel the way he feels. But I always say that you got to give the system 2 years to be implemented before. That third year is when the criticism comes in. We did the same thing. I do that every year. I give coaches 2 years to implement them systems. My whole thing with our team, and I will sit there and start with, even with all the non-calls all the non-calls that Philadelphia did not get, which I was there, and I actually seen 10 penalties with my own eyes that were not called. And I will sit there and be straight up. And I've talked to Philly fans, and I live here, so I talk to them, and I'm like, I've never been to a fucking football game that has never been a penalty called against a home team, or it was offsetting. I've never seen no shit like that. You got analysts. You got people, you got Eagles fans even saying that. They're like, even my own brother. I actually talked to I got to give you a great example. My own brother, diehard Eagle fan. He said, that was some hell of a home cooking. I said, Ray Charles and Stevie could have seen that shit last night. Like literally, like it was really bad with the non-calls. But guess what? We still could have won the fucking game. And that was the sad part about it. So McDaniels definitely has a lot to blame for the game plan. I get you want to establish your run. I get it. But you're going against the second-ranked run defense in the NFL with the Philadelphia Eagles. But they're ranked 20th in defense in the pass. And it was a lot of holes in that secondary that we could have exploited. I think McDaniel gave Philadelphia too much respect. I think he really did. I think we could have sat there and literally opened up the playbook, and I think we could have went long a couple times. Now, if Tua would have threw about 1 or 2 interceptions, at least he's sitting there airing the ball out. I would have had no problem with that. But at least attempt to do it and not do it anyway. And I can understand the reason why I think Tua wasn't able to air the ball out and McDaniel didn't do that was because of our offensive line and offensive line. Them dogs was coming after him. They were coming after him. The O-line did what they could do, but Philly's front was coming after him hard. I'm not even going to front on that. But back to Anthony's point. You're right with McDaniel and all that, but I'm going to tell you something. McDaniel is different than any coach that we've ever had. And McDaniel is literally a different coach that the league has ever seen. He's not that same hard-nosed used to like Parcells and like Belichick and those guys. He's not that. He's a new school cat. He's a young cat. And I get it. Like the personality is kind of quirky. It's kind of weird. We got people in our fan base is like, I don't really feel like all that. You know what I mean? And I get exactly what you're saying. But he's very methodical. And what I like about methodical people is this: they're not going to answer the question the way you want them to answer. You get what I'm saying? Same thing with Fangio. I'm not a fan of Fangio's defense. I'm not. I'm fucking not. I'm done with this bend but don't break shit. But we held Philly down in the run, which I was happy about that because we knew that they were going to keep our asses on the sideline and run the rock. The only way you beat a speedy team is by keeping them on the sideline and making them wait. You know, the thing that made me mad was before halftime, when we scored before halftime, I'm like, okay, we're gonna get this ball back in the second half, and now we're gonna start getting into our rhythm. And once we sat there and started doing stuff, and I'm sitting there looking, I'm like, well, damn, this is a different team. And then I'm looking for the adjustments, and there was no fucking adjustments. There really wasn't any adjustments. I'll say this to you, gentlemen. Philadelphia is a good team and they're a physical squad. The tush push is a piece of shit fucking play. I don't like it personally. Because you think about it, and you guys said it straight up, it's really a 1st and 8. You think about it, it's a 1st and 8. Not 1st and 10, it's a 1st and 8. They only got to get 8 yards. So if it's like a 4th and like a close 2 or a 4th and 1, you're going to do the tush push. You already know. You know what's going to come. They're not going to. It got stopped maybe once.
Yeah.
Once.
Well,
you know
here's the thing about the tush push. Here's the thing about the tush push that people don't realize. There's a saying: if you can't beat them, join them. So if you don't like the tush push, guess what? Do the tush push on them.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you can do.
We gave them too many opportunities. Once it comes like that, Dolphin, I'm with you. But it comes to a point where you have to, okay, they're going to do this. So at 3rd and whatever,
right,
it should be. We need to call the play that we're not giving them 5 yards. If it's 3rd and 6, we're not calling. Okay, it's at this point we need to just do whatever it takes. If we get burnt up top, then that's what it is. Because either way, you're taking time off the clock. If they're going to score quick, whatever, and then we got to score quick. But when you let them keep getting that, they're playing Pac-Man with the clock.
Right.
And that's my whole thing, bro.
I got you. I'm with this.
I'd rather them score quick and leave that time on the clock because we can score too.
Bro, I say this. I didn't have a voice after I left that bitch on Sunday night. I can promise you that. And I was sitting there. I was just like, man, this don't make no fucking sense. Because we knew as fans, we all know as fans, it was a lot of football left on that field. There was a lot of football left on that field. I watched McDaniel's press conference after the game and Tua's when I got home. And they both looked like we left a lot of football out there. You fucking right, you did. You can see it on their faces that we didn't play our best game. Well, shit, we all knew that. Yeah. And I'm like this. They know. They both know. We left a lot of football. I feel bad for the Patriots this week. I really do. I think we're gonna smoke the Patriots this week. I really do. I really do. I think them guys in that locker room are pissed off because they know that was a Philadelphia team that they could have beaten. And they know that. The score didn't reflect on how that game came out. Yeah, we lost by 14. But that game, if you look at that score, and you could see the faces on the Philadelphia Eagles side, we won the game, but they kind of felt like we won, but we kind of didn't. You get what I'm saying? They know eventually they will see us again, and I hope we see them in February. I really do. I want a rematch for the trophy.
I said before the game started, I was like, man, I made a video. I said, man, as long as it's a close game and we don't get smoked, and I'll tell you what, I'm not terribly upset with the loss. I'm really not down on us. I don't feel like everybody else feels like, oh, you can't beat a good team.
No, they don't. They're not talking like that this week. With the Bills.
We had a whole bunch of injuries. We had the refs that was totally one-sided, and we still fought the whole game. It was just a couple of minor adjustments that could have and when those other players come back on defense, that wouldn't happen. So I'm not down on our team. And Tua, I'll say it again because I'm not a Tua guy. I support him, but I don't think he's the next coming of Dan Marino like some people do.
Right.
Tua showed me a lot. I messaged Larry. That one drive alone was so crucial. That 3rd and 18, and man, the whole time. Tua showed a ton of composure that game. everything wasn't working, and Tua had everything on the money, and there was a lot. So I'm not upset with our loss. I'm upset with Mike McDaniel for the deferring was one, for the field goal, choosing to go for it when we were in plenty of field goal range, even for Josh Sanders. That pissed me off. And just the unpreparedness. The penalties, it was a sloppy game played by us, where if we didn't have all those penalties, maybe it would have, because that adds momentum to the crowd. You're in a home field and everybody's getting drunk. And here we are, our morale goes down when we're backing up with that shame, that walk of shame every time. How many times did a lot of them penalties on us were merited? I'm just saying that there were a lot of missed calls or no calls for Philly. And, so that comes down to coaching. Coaching is what has me upset about the game. Our team showed up, Dolphin. I'm with that 100%. We fought with a bunch of backups. Nicker. I've never even heard of Nickers. Who the hell is that quarterback? He was laying the wood, though. The kid with the drip.
He was.
Nickerson, man, he was laying wood. He got beat the one play. Whatever. I never heard of him. He's A.J. Brown. Of course, he's not going to be able to stop everything. Otherwise, he'd be a starter. He showed up. That kid played ball. Our guys played good, man. They fought. So I'm satisfied with. We get Needham back. We get Ramsey back. We get X back. Maybe it's trouble. We
might get Needham. We might get Needham back next week against the Patriots, because I watched them. Watched them run up the.
I'm not mad at the team. I'm confident. We fought a Super Bowl contender team in their house in prime time, and everybody, including Tua, showed up and played to the best of their ability. Coaching was subpar on both sides of the ball. That tush push, it should have been pressed. After the second time they got it, every third, because we had them 3rd and 8 a million times. Or third and long a whole bunch of times that game, and we blew it every time. And that's when we needed to say, you know what, we got to change this up, and we didn't make an adjustment.
Coaching there was a time during the game that we were throwing pressure at Hurts, and I don't know why we stopped that. And what got me was, and it's funny because Eagle fans were like, why you hurt our quarterback? I say he hurt himself. If you looked at the play, he went to slide and he jammed his like it was his ankle or his foot, the way he slid. And I'm like, yeah, we didn't even touch him. Like, yo, your boy with the slide, and the way he slid, he hurt himself. And they were like, for real? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, so like, one time it just went out of bounds. They were at Hurts all night.
Yeah.
It wasn't. We played good, man. We played good. It's just
we played good. I just feel like we're the bridesmaid and not the bride yet. And that's just what it comes down to. And I remember you taking the point on that, and it's the truth. We have to, for the Miami Dolphins and their fans, and this has always been something I've said, yes, we have to win the big game for us to get national recognition as being contenders, not pretenders. We're not frauds. We're far from that. But we got, for us to be contenders, for us to sit there and be put in the mentions of a Kansas City, we got to smack Kansas City in the mouth in Germany in 2 weeks. We have to. There is no, okay, well, the Dolphins went against them and they played an okay game and they stayed. No. We got to smack them. And the same way we beat the crap out of the Patriots on this Sunday is the same way we're going to have to go into Germany, which is going to be a home game for us, honestly, because they got a hell of a lot of fans over there that are Dolphin fans. And I can promise you that you got to smack. This is the game. Here's another one. Me and Shake talked about this personally. This is another one of these games where we know that the world will be watching. It will be the only game on Sunday morning. And they'll be watching us, and we have to sit there and be like, you know what? This is it. I think all those players in that locker room, coaches, they got to say, you know what? Enough is the fuck enough.
Well,
when are we going to be that fucking team? When are we going to be? When are we going to be that crew? And this is it.
Well, here, let me tell you something real quick. One thing people got to realize is the fact that you have feedback. Can I put RD? You got it.
RD, it's been a long time.
He's got feedback. But no, here's the thing. You got Kansas. The reason they put Kansas City in the upper echelon is because they've been to the AFC Championship 4 times, been to the 3 Super Bowl times.
Right.
The reason they put Buffalo up there is because they've been to the AFC Championship 3 times in a row. This is something that it's not going to happen overnight. So look at everybody was slowly but surely giving props to the Lions, and all of a sudden they dropped to the Ravens, and all all the hard work they did is gone now. They're not no
Mhm.
longer looked at the same. You know what I mean? So in order for us to like you said, in order for us to be that team, we got to do it year in and year out, not just one season.
Right.
The only thing
Or
I
I'm
one
worried
game.
about in the Chiefs games are the refs doing their witchcraft to help the Chiefs because, ladies
I
and
want you.
gentlemen, they do it for Taylor Swift. I don't care what anyone says. The only the Chiefs have 3 more losses on their schedule, but no, the refs had to do their witchcraft because they do it for Taylor freaking Swift, and that's the
Yeah.
only thing I'm worried about in Germany is we get hold by the refs once again.
You look
Well,
at
what
that
it comes
year.
down to,
You look at that year with Dan Campbell too. We beat the Texans and we beat the Tennessee Titans convincingly back to back. I'm talking about smoked them out of the water.
Yep.
Then of course New England Patriots gave us the wake up call, and you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying. At the end of the day, like I said, we have to do it year in and year out. So if even if we blow out the rest of our opponents and lose the first round, it's kind of, you know what I'm saying, we got to do this year in and year out in order to get those accolades. But go ahead.
Hey, Larry.
What's going on?
Hey, brother. It's been a long time. I touched base with you week 1. I wanted to stay out of it because I wanted to see enough games. And I gotta tell you, man, I'm impressed on so many angles. I know we've had 2 bad games versus good teams, but you gotta put everything into context, man. Like that Liam Eichenberg guy really has shown growth the last couple of games. Week 1, he got demolished. Week 1 versus the Bills, he got demolished, but he grew. Like he played so well versus the Eagles. He had those stupid, 2 bad snaps back to back. Aside from that, he held his own. It's Lester Cotton that was his first game, so it was really bad for him because he got called for everything. And but like I just see this O line, the growth of these guys, the depth of these guys, it's incredible. Like we've never had this. We've never had this type of consistency from an O line perspective, just because of how the play motion, all the motion plays into it, how the running backs have so much speed, so they can account, like they can turn holes into like 80-yard gainers right away, and it's not just one running back, it's multiple, and we're gonna get him back. Like the injuries have just shown us the depth that we have on this team, that the durability is going to be sustained throughout the entire year heading into the postseason. But yesterday's game was, last night's game was just incredible. I've never in my life seen officiating be that bad from the very get-go. Like from the very get-go, they were missing holding calls on us, and they were giving them the calls. And all the conspiracy theories now about like they're all on the table, because when you look at it, I didn't even know this was a thing, but it turns out like a lot of the referees out there, they're not full-time referees in the
not
NFL.
at all. Not at
So I
all.
didn't even know this was a thing. Like, are you
Oh
kidding me?
yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
billions of
Yep.
dollars in an amateur guy. Like the calls have been horrendous, especially late in the game. But for us, was the only game that they were just completely one-sided, but double one-sided.
You
Really
would think
calls, and we were getting non-calls on egregious calls. And the only mistake we did was that Tua could have made a play. He could have made it with his legs, because the whole backs, like the entire left side, was completely empty. He could have ran for a first down, but he threw off his back shoulder. Not only that, the I don't know whether it was Mostert or whether it was Waddle, but one of them ran the wrong route, because there's no way you drop a route like that. Like they're all intersecting in the same spot. And it's one of those things where it was the perfect storm where Tua made a mistake by throwing off the back shoulder without aim, back foot, and then they ran the wrong route, and then the best defensive player they have made a play in a critical time of the game, and then you got the tush push phenomenon killing us again and again, because like it was just incredible. And plus, you have to play on the road in that crowd. But I was just impressed by our O line play, on how they didn't really Like they were able to overcome everything. It's just, again, when the refs are against you and everything is stacked up against you, it just, I mean, our defense showed up in such a big way that that we knocked ourselves out. Like Javon Holland knocked out what do you call it?
David Long.
David Long. And I'm watching the old 22 tape. David Long turned up like the best game of his life. Like the blitzes that,
Mhm.
and this is what I like about Vic
Mhm.
Fangio. Like, he's eventually gonna get everything rolling with his front seven. The pressure has been there already for all the games, but it's gonna be there more consistently. That it's gonna generate turnovers, right? But the one thing is, Darius Kodu, that Kohu, that guy is not an outside corner, because both times he got beat by now he's one of the best wide receivers in the game, no doubt about it. But it's a disciplinary thing with him in the outside corner. Like, he gives up too early, right? And unfortunately, if you do that, there's too much separation with the elite wide receivers like Brown. So he gave up. It wasn't Pickerson, because Pickerson had to come out from all the way from the other side. It was Kodu. Like, he bumped into David Long, and then instead of continuing with Brown, he gave up and started chasing after their quarterback, Hurts. And then Hurts just looks down the field like just like Josh Allen hurt us like crazy with those stupid plays. The same thing. Nothing really has changed. It's very difficult for his defense to keep up with flexible quarterbacks that can run and throw, right? Like the Vic Fangio defense, like it once you get out of the pocket, that's why you have to have really good corners. But both of our corners are, injured. And then again, it's sort of like discipline. Like, you have to know your role, and just guys, a lot of new guys, a new system. Like, it just takes time. But I think this is more fruitful than the all-out blitzes that you have with Boyer and the Brian Flores defense. Just because this one, once everybody is on the same page, it's the type of defense that generates a lot of turnovers. It's a type of defense that also, it's consistent. Like, it won't bend, it won't break. But then you start dialing up the blitzes on time to complement our offense, so they will get out in 3-and-out. Like you saw what happened with, I know they're rookies. He's a rookie quarterback. What's his name? Last week with the Panthers. But like,
Yeah.
once we got into a groove, we shut him down for 3 straight quarters, right?
And you know what? Yeah, I agree with you. And you know what I think too? Like, look, I'm not as down about the Philly game as I was about Buffalo, because the officiating mattered and all that. The tush push thing, if you really look at it, any other team that doesn't have that tush push nonsense, RD, any other team, you get them down to 4th and 1 in their own, behind their own 20, they're not going for it. And if they do go for it, we got a good chance of stopping them and changing the game around. That tush push thing really,
and we have stopped that.
Yeah,
We've
it was
done it
really
throughout the year. We've stopped it.
pain in the ass that happened. But
Yeah.
look, if we get those 2 corners back and Fangio keeps dialing up the pressure that way, we got a good chance. But I just got to see it, and I can't count on. My biggest thing is, you already see Wynn go out now. I can't count on, we're going to get people back, because somebody else is going to get hurt. So we got to just, like, that's where I got to just see them win. Like, I don't care who's out against the Chiefs. Beat them. Like, we can beat them. We have the talent to beat them. We have the explosiveness to beat them. They aren't the same offensive team they were the last 5 years, whatever. We could beat them. It's a neutral site. You're not in Kansas City. Beat them. Like, that's it. That's just me. But I agree. This is unprecedented. I agree we have taken steps up, but I want to see that next step now, because I'm not interested in winning a wild card game for the first time in however long and losing the divisional round. I'm interested in going to AFC championships with a legitimate shot to win, because our window is only a couple of years long, because that's the window of every NFL team, and that's what I want to see. And the reason I feel this way is not because they're overachieving. They're not. They're achieving what they should be achieving. Now go and get it done. That's me.
Right. I agree. I agree 100%.
The one thing I wanted to point out was and my belief on Tua, because I know maybe some people are still on the fence, but my belief with Tua last year was he didn't show up in some primetime games, whether it was the Pittsburgh game, whether it was San Francisco, whether it was the Chargers. I haven't seen him miss one game this year. Like, he has been on fire. Like, he's made stupid mistakes with some interceptions, the Giants game, but that's irrelevant. Like, give him one stupid play. This guy, like, he can still improve and pick his point, like, because he can still run. Like, he has to run. Like, 5% of his drawbacks, he has to run, meaning he has to run for a first down or he has to run for 5 yards because they're giving him the space. Like, he cannot be afraid of that because it's going to protect him from actually getting sacked in the back. The issue I have is when he's being explosive and throwing it to Hill and throwing it to Waddle, in the sideline and leading them for 40-yard plays downfield, he's got to do that more. Like, they have to, because that's how you keep them honest, right? Like, he can do it, and he has to do it more because he has the weapons now. I just see it like such a amazing ratio as far as his success rate with his plays that I believe we're going to see it more and more, especially at home, right? And so, but that's why, home court advantage, home field advantage, it feels like the division is ours. If worse comes to worse, at least we're going to get one game at home in the playoffs, right? And then after that, I'm telling you, man, if this defense achieves its, optimal type of potential, like, this is going to be a deadly demon because Deshaun Elliott has been a really good free safety. I think Holland needs to be less of a hawk and less of like a turnover type of like opportunist. And because that play, I don't know what happened, but that play with Brown going all the way down the field in that 1st and 10 situation, there was no safety in the back. And Deshaun had to come from the other side. And Holland just stood there because he was trying to cheat for an in route by somebody. But you can't do that type of stuff because the big plays happen, especially on the road. Like, you have to be disciplined. And I think guys like Holland and guys like not Xavier, Kohu, right? These are the youngsters. Like, once they get on the same level that he wants them to get, I don't even know what's happening with Cam Smith, but once we get our corners back, you're going to see this domino effect, right? And it's like we're at the precipice. Like, I know things are going to get to that level because I think we're clicking at about 75%, not even that right now as a team. Like, once you click at 100%, and everybody knows, I mean, 7 weeks into the season, guys. Like, I know it's been two bad games. Well, let's call it one bad game and one asterisk over there, but it's like we're trending. When things go our way, you see what we do. And don't tell me they're bad teams, because that same bad team like went to Bills and handled, shocked
No, I
them.
get it. Yeah, I'm not.
You saw what the Chiefs did at home versus the stupid Broncos.
Yeah,
Like,
it's any given Sunday. We got to do it though eventually, and especially to get that home field advantage, in my opinion, because that gives us everything, is that home field advantage, and we got to click at the right time. There's still time to do it. What I think is crazy, and I know Jet fans are out of their damn mind, and everybody knows they're crazy. However, I always want to say they're just blatantly, patently, logically wrong, and they ain't going to go very far because they got Zach Wilson. However, they ain't lying with the fact that they're only one game behind the division themselves now, and they already beat the Bills. And that defense looks like the same type of defense that's given us trouble the last 2 games that we lost. And so they're coming up here to play on Black Friday, and that crowd believes in them, as crazy as they are. And I'm scared of that too.
we
Now,
go there for Black Friday.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, I'm up here in Jersey, so.
Oh yeah.
So, like, I'm just saying, I did predict that. So here's my preseason predictions were: we went 13-4. We lost to Philly on the road, the Bills on the road, the Jets on the road, and Baltimore. Everybody else I had us beating. But I got to be honest with you. While that still seems realistic, number one, we could easily drop another one if we don't get our act together against bigger, better teams. And two, if we lose those games, it might cost us more than we realize, because it might drop us in the playoff seeding by the way it looks like it's shaken out. So I did predict a win against the Chiefs in the neutral site. That is imperative in my opinion. Whereas the Eagles were not an important game, like seeding wise, really, other than just staying ahead of other people. The fact is they were it's a very important game with the Chiefs because that decides so much. Even if we lose a game and they win a game, it's going to come down to the tiebreaker at the end of the season.
Hey, but
that's very important.
And what's crazy is that this Jets defense is giving me 2002 Dolphins vibe.
Yeah, man.
What's going on, Shake?
What's going on?
At least we're not playing them the last game of the year like we did with the. Did we play the Patriots the last game, or was it?
No, we're playing the Bills.
We're playing the Bills.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. At least we're not playing the Jets because they're going to want to play spoiler or be crazy with that defense. The Bills are getting hurt. By the end of the year, the Bills could be a whole different ball game. But the Jets, I'm glad we're not seeing in the last game of the year. To be honest.
But here's the thing about the Jets. The one thing I want to point out about the Jets is that Zach Wilson is improving, right, with each passing week. Like, I've seen the improvements. If you don't have Zach Wilson behind as quarterback, Aaron Rodgers is not mobile. That O-line is getting worse with each passing week, like, because they're getting injuries, right? So it's not like they can put up the numbers. So what's going to happen is when the Dolphins face them, it's a rival, so they know us, we know them. I believe our defense is going to be peaking, or it's going to be up to the optimal, like where we want them to be. We saw what happened last year when our defense was good versus them. We smoked them. They could only score 6 points with us, right? In Miami. When we went to the New York, they obviously was early on in the year, and there was turnovers that ramped up the score for them, right? But with Tua, I know it's only a matter of like us putting about 17 to 20 points on them, and we will get the win. Just because I believe our defense, as long as there's no turnovers, will shut them down. So, and by that time, they've already won a bunch of games because they have an easy schedule now. So they're going to be sort of come back down to earth type of thing. This is what I hated about the
I hope so, because they're going to be hyped up in that friggin' stadium. It's going to be annoying,
that Eagles loss, like, that pissed me off because now the Eagles were like really paying attention to us, right? But again, no one forecasted all the stupid penalties. Like, I'm telling you, if the penalties and the drop balls and the injury,
I'm telling you, I agree.
We had it, but we dropped it. It is what it is.
If we wouldn't have dropped that Tyreek touchdown, if Tyreek would have caught that, and those penalties and some of those penalties that were called, it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
Tyreek should have had 3 touchdowns, though. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So what's up, what's up, Larry?
What up, brother? How are you?
Man, I've been pissed off all week.
I don't blame you, bro. That's how I get.
And it's just,
I got the medicine right here.
Yeah, right. But you want to know something? Y'all ready to see Ramsey this week? I think he's going to be in on a pitch count.
He might be.
Yeah, that's
because we just put Win on IR. We could pull Ramsey to the roster now with that spot. And I have a feeling they're going to want to put him on a pitch count this week against New England to get him a little bit on the field before KC.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
I would put Cam Smith finally, dude, just because we need to see, and I think Greer is going to step in and be like, hey, you got to put. I don't think this is a situation like last
Greer
year.
will not be able to step in on this one. I'm sorry. We have a defensive coordinator that's too much cachet in that building. He's being paid like a head coach.
Yes,
and he will not be able to step in on this one. But I do think Cam should play, and X should sit out one more week because he's been playing all year, and let him rest up for KC.
What I'm saying is, in the second half, if we're up 28 points, right? There is no point of not sitting down Jalen, sitting down X, and then playing Cam Smith.
I agree with
Eli Apple. Like, if that situation comes along, I think this time around he's going to play him, just because I think the coach is going to step in. And Greer is probably, listen, what happened when Tua wasn't going to play until somebody told him, hey, you got to play Tua. Like, Brian Flores was never going to play Tua if somebody didn't tap him in the shoulder and be, you got to play Tua.
But there's a difference between a quarterback and your a third round cornerback.
No, first of all, it's a high second rounder.
Well,
Second
either
of
way,
all,
that's the
still a
third.
big difference.
second of all,
that's still a
last
big difference. It's a big
last-
difference, bro. There's there
last-
you can't. You're comparing our apples and oranges, bro.
here's the thing though. Here's the problem. These guys
Okay.
are all in 1-year deals, like,
Mhm.
and they have underperformed, right?
Mhm.
So it's like with Cam Smith, unless he gets reps on the actual field, no one is ever going to know how bad it is or how good it is. But the tape that he has put in college and the tape that he put up, except for one play in throughout the entire training camp and the preseason, and even a few plays that he got this year in the regular season, last game or 2 games ago, like he looks like he's the most athletic next to Jalen Ramsey outside corner that we have, right? So if the games are out of hand, you cannot be playing Kohu on this on the outside. Like, he has to play, and I don't want to see Jalen Ramsey or Xavier playing meaningless reps.
You know what? That last game was the perfect game. When you see Kohu back to his nickel spot, what does he do? He forces a turnover with a tip pass that's returned for a pick six.
No, Kohu is
By
Kohu
Baker.
is an amazing slot guy, but he has no business being in the boundary because
No, I agree with that, but
he wants to be. He doesn't want to be in space. He wants to be in a position where he can make a play every time, but he doesn't want to be 30, 40 yards because he has
Now-
no feel for that.
Now, let me tell you something. There's somebody on the trade block that's not going to cost us a fortune right away. And I have a feeling we're going to be pulling the trigger because he just became available on the trade block in Denver. And that's Justin Simmons.
Oh, but we can't afford any of those guys because it's
Well,
a cap,
listen, what
cap
I'm
space.
what I'm saying is we know how to make room. Our guys do
Nah.
not. Yeah, we already started. We already started with
Yeah, but
that little bit
he's
with the
going to need
kicker.
a lot because it's next year. That's the problem. Next year is going to be such
Yeah,
a huge
but
cap
here-
hit, and
here's
we
the
don't have
thing.
any money for next year.
Here's the thing, though. I have a feeling they're going because he wants another safety he trusts. You got one guy now. The only safety we had that he really trusted is on the concussion protocol.
Yeah, Javon Holland. Yeah.
But honestly, I think we're going for a linebacker soon, and we're going to have to make room for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like David Long, I think he's coming
Dude.
along very nicely. But Jerome
Yeah.
Baker, it's like this
Jerome-
guy
listen,
is just
We
he's
have a middle.
70% good in everything he does, but he's not elite or he's not reliable on
We
anything
have
he does.
We have a middle linebacker that can attack the line, and that's what David Long, and he's showing that.
Mhm.
Now we
He's
need one
coming
that.
along.
Now we need one that has coverage.
Listen, the one thing I gotta say about the whole board, the whole who's the guy, Vic Fangio thing is, I'm not gonna give him no excuses for injuries because at the end of the day, Boyer didn't get those excuses. He's not gonna get those excuses.
Facts.
I'm not gonna give him excuses. Don't get me wrong. I'm not at all, and especially when he's being so damn stubborn with our second round pick, who is actually, I think, is a better player than Apple on the outside.
Yeah.
You know,
He doesn't know about Noah Benogany, so everyone's starting to get frustrated because they're like, "Do we just draft another Noah?" Right? But he's definitely not a Noah. Like, this guy's a record, right? Like, it's just I truly believe, looking at that Jackson.
no, this guy's a corner. Noah was not a corner. Noah played corner for what, 1 year, 2 years?
2 years.
Noah went into college as a receiver. This guy's a true corner.
Yeah.
And when he made that double move, when in Jacksonville he got beat by double move, like that basically got a lot of fans being like, "What the hell was that?" And now they're trying to rationalize, well, that's the reason he's not ready.
No,
Because he
there's
gets
something else
suspension
going.
or not, but
There's something else going on.
One thing I want you to think about this. Last year, other than Skylar Thompson playing because of Tua getting hurt and Teddy Bridgewater getting hurt, he was the only draft pick that played last year.
yeah. There was a little bit as a problem, I think, a few games.
Can you name another draft pick that we drafted this year that's on the field right now?
I mean, A Chain lighted up, but he's injured, and then Chris Brooks and Hill, they're playing, blocking all the time, but one of
Well,
them
yeah,
is
but
injured.
Chris Brooks comes in on cleanup duty, so he's not really playing.
No, but it's also Chris Brooks and Hill
No,
were both
he does
undrafted free
blocking in
agents.
first quarter. Yeah, the drafted. I mean, we don't have enough picks. We lost 2 of our picks.
Yeah, but I'm saying they were undrafted free agents. I'm talking
Yeah,
about players that we drafted. We have A-Chain's like the only one that's played.
Exactly.
Yeah, like when you look at it, I think Channing Tindall we just whiffed. I just don't think he's anything that they like, and that's
No,
the
I
reason.
think they love his athletic ability. I just don't think he can pick up the defense, the playbook, and that's the scary part.
He has athletic ability, but he's not an NFL linebacker. He's just not like when you look at that Georgia defense, okay, they were stacked. So you don't know who's actually talented to the point where they can deliver and who's just a product of the system. And they found out that Channing Tindall was a product of the system there. And this guy, now granted, we have a backlog of linebackers too. We don't know, but I think he has more of a making of a Noah Igbinoghene than obviously Ken Smith.
He's starting to look like that. I will say that he's not making the field when you're down.
But, Ezukama, though, it's unfortunate because it's an injury related, and it's also an injury that could be like career threatening.
I don't think he's going to be back on the team.
He's gone for the year. This year is gone.
I think he's gone after this year. I think that's why we made the trade that we did.
Well, one good thing is Nick Needham was activated from the PUP list.
Yeah, Needham's been getting played at safety.
I don't even understand though that, because he's never been good in coverage. He's always been good in, well, maybe he has, but it's tough to see him at safety though. Like
but I have a feeling you're going to be seeing him fill in for Holland if Holland's out.
Could see that for sure.
I think this week, again, you're going to see Brendan Jones, because that's who came.
I don't think you're going to see much of Brandon Jones. I don't think he's a fan of Brandon Jones and fan of Brandon Jones' skill set.
He has no depth. Like Elijah Campbell, like he's not getting it done. They just don't have the depth that he wants.
I'm surprised they don't turn Brandon Jones into an inside linebacker. You know what I mean? Someone who can cover short across the tight end and blitz the quarterback.
He's a good blitzer, but that's it. Like he's not gonna get off blocks, and he's not going to dissect the hole. But he's a good outside blitzer.
Right, but you have your Mike with David there to be more of that dissect. Figure out the hole.
The problem with Brendan Jones, he can't even pick up a tight end and then follow him down the line. Like Waller destroyed him last year, or a couple of years.
Well, Waller destroys a lot of people, so I'll give that. Waller does destroy a lot of people.
Hey, how's the Philly game? How's the Phillies game?
1-0 Diamondbacks.
Oh boy!
Oh, he's up the boat right now.
Beat those Phillies, dude.
Well, watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth.
I'm saying beat the Phillies too.
Yeah, I've had it with the Phillies. They're so rude, man. They are just so rude. It's ridiculous. It's like hostile.
You know what I
thought? All across.
Hey, did you see on everything today what they're talking about all across YouTube?
Yeah, the cheating scandal of the
even Philly fans are saying that we got robbed.
It's scandalous because I've never seen it this bad in my life. Like that is a primetime game. Never seen it blatant all throughout the game on both sides. I've never seen a game be that tight and the referees causing, imagine that was a playoff game. Imagine that was a Super Bowl. Oh my
Dude, the NFL, and I'm telling you, the NFL doesn't want this because of everything with the gambling. That's just going to make it even harder for them.
Yeah, but here's the funny thing about the NFL. They don't want this, but then they make fun of this in the beginning of the year by having ads and having all these players talk about the script. And then you look at what's happening and you're like, well, no shit, the script. I mean, the Chiefs have won how many games now with last minute flags that went completely their way. It's at least 3 games that I've counted.
Dude, it wasn't even just our game they're making fun of. The Colts got screwed.
Yeah.
And the Rams.
And the Rams.
All those games, though, it was the end of the game. But for us, it started right at the beginning. Like
Dude,
this
yeah.
was like
Wilkins, you see Wilkins
catastrophic.
take the knee. That was a BS call right from the get-go. That's when you're like, oh, it's going to be a long day.
And I heard this thing happen with Iowa in college
Yep,
football.
and that's cool.
That was the most ridiculous. I don't even know how that happens. Like,
Dude, how does the NFL hire an official that was kicked out of officiating college games?
well, I mean, they're hiring teachers to be officials now, so I don't know.
Hey,
Like,
I got to get out of here. I got to go do some
All right.
homework. It's been an honor to be here.
All right, Greg.
Hell
And,
yeah, Greg.
We're going to beat the Patriots this week. I was going to say a shutout, but not that the Bills couldn't do their job. And I was going to predict the Bill Belichick firing. Dolphins are going to win. Let's say 31-17 this week.
I love it. I gotta hop off too, guys. I'm handing it over to
All right.
in good hands with Shake Money, man.
Hey, but before you leave, can you imagine? I'm at an adoption agency, right? I want to adopt a child. What happened to? My son passed away. Oh, I drowned him in the shower.
Crazy, man. That'd be crazy.
Lord have mercy.
Larry K, pleasure talking to you, man.
Love you
Seeing
guys,
up
man.
there.
Thanks for
All right,
coming
all
up.
right.
Thanks for coming
Hey, I'll
on.
see you Sunday,
Winters,
man.
thanks for coming up. I'll see you Sunday, Shake. We're gonna get it on, man. I'll see you guys
That's what's
soon.
up.
All right. Peace.
Man, it's all over YouTube, though. It's ridiculous. They're pulling everything up. I'm like, the NFL's probably pissed right now.
No, they're not. As long as they keep making money, and as long as people keep gambling on the games, they win. They win regardless. They can take all the scrutiny, all that. They're still making.
Yeah, but there comes a point where you don't want anything getting mixed up.
True, but guess
And
what?
it's getting to that point.
I don't.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. All these things with all right. I'll give you the prime example. You hear all these the scrutiny coming with McDonald's. Oh, McDonald's this, McDonald's that. But guess what? During the week, hey, I'll have a number one. People are still lining up
Yeah, I agree with that. But at the same time, they still don't want this at all. They're going to want to nip this in the bud, I think.
Here's the issue.
Because controversy sells, man. Everybody's still talking about the Saints game to this day, and if people are outraged and still talking about the NFL, it's bringing them attention, and
you know what?
Attention equals money.
You know what the problem is us. We're too damn addicted. We want to go see our team. We're going to pay for our tickets regardless.
Exactly.
We're going to show up and buy the merch. You know what I mean? And
remember
no matter what's going on, we're still addicted to watching football. We don't want to go without our fix.
Yeah. Remember when we had the strike in 2012 and they had 2011? I forgot which year, but they had the strike for the referees, and these guys, they replaced them with like part-time guys. Oh, it was horrific. Like every game was horrifically officiated. You don't want to get to that level because it destroys the game. Like it destroys the product itself. Like they know there's a threshold, right? So what's happening now is these games are finishing with controversial calls. That's terrible. Like at least if you have calls and the game's finished, like the Eagles game was so controversial because it was all one-sided. But if we had gotten a couple of calls, they're okay with that type of game. The issue is when every game is finishing on the last call and it's the refs changing the outcome from one team winning to the other, right? Look at the Philly game, not Philly. Look at the 49ers with Cleveland game a few weeks ago. And they're just piling up more and more. The Chiefs have been in a few calls, just stupid penalties, right? Like the guy takes off his helmet, doesn't even get a penalty. The referee tells him, hey, put your helmet back on, which is a clear penalty. There was 3 penalties in that one play. None of them got called against the Chiefs.
Here's the situation, though. I bet every now and then with my games. I can't bet right now because I don't know what the NFL is going to do and what's going to happen. I don't know what's the next thing.
When they don't trust that, they don't bet.
Yeah, I don't want to lose my money because of the NFL doing something like that.
So that's how you really get hit them. Is stop using the apps, stop gambling, stop gambling, stop using their sponsors.
But it becomes unsafe to bet because you don't know who they want to win that week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Though, if you hit their sponsors, you're gonna hit the NFL because at the end of the day, The NFL's like, well, you know what? I'm not gonna be affiliated with you because you're costing me money. Nobody's gambling now.
But
That's what becomes gonna happen.
I heard. Sorry, brother. What was your name again? Dolphin Winters.
Dolphin winners, yes.
Dolphin. Yes, brother. I heard the stadium looked pretty sick with everybody on their Kelly Green uniforms. Like that was lit up because I saw the footage of like on social media, when they had all of the lights on and everything. It looked like a glow in the dark, like a concert. It looked
dope.
pretty good.
It was dope. I never experienced that before, so it was
Yeah.
like the first time for me too, and I was like, wow. I said, this is really nice. You know, at the end of the day, though, we were in there though. You could see the Dolphin fans up in there though, and it was a lot of us up in there. And even Philadelphia radio talked about it, and they were like, the Dolphin fans traveled, and I was like, oh yeah, we traveled.
You
Even though
couldn't
they're not
tell.
here.
You
Yeah.
couldn't tell because teal and green, especially at nighttime, kind of mixes. So it all looked like one color, especially
Mhm.
people had jackets on and whatnot. But one
Yeah,
thing I
we
wanted
should.
to do on Jalen Hurts, we didn't hurt Jalen Hurts. He was already hurt as soon as the game started. He was like limping. It's as
Well, what
if
happened
like
was
something had happened with the Jets.
You
Like
mean
when he
Jalen
went out
Waddle?
of
Jalen
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 Hurts.
Hurts. He talking about Hurts.
Yeah.
No, what
No,
it was,
no,
it was
I thought you were
it
talking
was
about Waddle because he was limping too.
it was the play.
Yeah.
It was a play that Jalen Hurts was running. He went to go slide and he jammed his ankle or knee. So I know what play you're talking about. He went to go run. It was that run play that Chubb almost had him, and he was
Yeah.
running. He went to go
Where Chubb
slide,
got tackled.
But he ran out of bounds though, right?
but he slid and he slid wrong. That's what it
But
was.
he ran out of bounds though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the thing is, when he was running out of bounds, he was really like he wasn't running full speed. So it's as if he was already hampered with something, and then when he slid completely awful. So that made it even worse. And then you got to factor in the quarterback sneaks with this guy. Like he's
Hey.
getting more pounded over there because people are falling onto him. So
I tell
it's
you-
like he's gonna get hurt, I think, this year at some point with just durability concerns because he puts a lot on himself. Like he hasn't been as fluid as he's been in the past.
Well, he
Like,
missed
just
games
can't
last
get
year
away.
too.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but the thing is, I never wish injury on a player. But I will tell you right now, I was wishing it on every one of them officials.
But the
I was
funny
hoping
thing
a
is
player would come across the middle and just drill one of them officials and put him to sleep.
the guy that was calling the holding calls against us, he was also in charge of he was basically in charge of the O-line, right? So he was keeping an eye on the O-line the whole time. So when the
Right,
Eagles
but
were doing the holding,
I
he
wasn't
wasn't calling
arguing.
it.
I didn't
What?
argue our holding calls because we did hold. There were plays we held.
Well, the
touchdown
Hill
that was
one
called
wasn't
back?
the Hill wasn't a hold. He
No.
let go right away, right? But
No, but what I'm saying is, like, for example, the touchdown that got called back in the first,
yeah.
that was a clear hold. I'm not arguing that. That's a penalty. That's a penalty. What I was arguing is they were doing the same thing,
Yeah.
and there were no calls. That's the only thing I was.
But theirs were even more egregious because they held for a lot longer. That was like a flash
I
of
am
a
proud
second.
of. I am proud of our guys, though. We went up there shorthanded.
Shorthanded.
We didn't give up. We could have turned it in because I don't know any of you played when you were younger.
No.
When I played, when the officials, when you could tell it's one-sided and you're going up against everything, you have a tendency to say, you know what, this is not going to be our day. They didn't give up. They had the chance. If Tyreek makes that catch, it's a whole different ball game.
Right.
We knew it was one-sided. I knew as soon as the stupid thing wasn't called right in the first quarter.
I agree.
David
with
Long,
you.
because I saw the David Long live. I'm like, wait a minute, he just grabbed him from the head because Lester Cotton just got called.
No,
so
you know what
now.
When I knew it was going to be a long day. You saw their left tackle, even where Hurts in their drop back, and that left tackle was shot out so quick. It was before the snap. And they didn't throw the flag.
Actually, I knew
throw the flag, and I'm like, this is going to be a long day.
Actually, I knew it was a long game when we got that delay of game. I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't even see a play clock.
I seen it. I seen you talking about the first play of the game. The first play when we got the ball. What happened was McDaniel. That was a McDaniel problem. That wasn't
Okay.
Tua. Because I'm looking at the clock ticking down 28-27. That play, they didn't start developing and lining up for that play until 9 seconds.
Can I
Because
ask
I'm
some?
looking at the play.
Here's a
I was looking at the play clock and I'm like, what are y'all fucking doing?
here's a rhetorical question. How are the first 3 plays not scripted, but you have to get the first play called in and you wait for it to be called in before you can call it in? Like, what the fuck? Just go in there, you scripted the 3 plays, get the first down, because that first down is the most important thing for us, because we know once we get a first down that we're going to drive. Now we're going to have points on the board. We have these 3 and outs that we are like constantly, because we fall into 3 and 1, we don't have a tush push. See, what we have to do now, I think we can do it this year. Get one of these guys off the practice squad or find somebody, have a part-time center that does one thing and one thing only. He's good at lining up for the tush push, and then bring another guy, whether he's a big guy, Taysom Hill type of guy, not Tua, and then shove him, because we have Hill and we have the other tight end. Shove him. Just do the exact same thing. We have the O-line to do it.
You know what, though? I wouldn't do it because that's going to be outlawed anyways after this year. Because there's
after this season, I understand, but now
while it's still legal,
yeah, because
just do it.
think about it this way, though. How many times do we?
Well, first off, do you want them pushing Tua into a pile? Tua's
again.
Not Tua.
Here's the thing. Again, just like the Wildcat, use a running back.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be. It can be anybody. Find a specialist that's good at this. That's it, and have them on the roster, and they just come in for the 3 and 1. Because how many times are we involved in the 3 and 1 and 4 and 1? If you have a guaranteed play, that's our Achilles heel. Once that goes away, our offense is streamlined.
All right, so if you guys are wait. If you guys are going to sit there and say if you want to put one guy that's in the position to sit there and do a tush push, if you want to do that, you might as well just put a defensive end or a big ass O lineman, handing him the ball, and let him just sit there. And
but the problem is with O linemen, you cannot really push them because they're way too heavy. You need to find someone who's light, like 220.
No, I put Wilkins at full.
Push them, and they're strong enough to push the other linebackers away from them.
You put Wilkins at fullback to push.
Thank you.
Whatever. That'll get his trade value up.
No, but
you're not trading Wilkins, bro. You're not trading. Oh, wait. And not to cut you off.
You know what my problem is, though? You know what lost us the game, honestly? When Tyreek dropped that pass. Because if we tie it at 24, that gets our whole team fired up. We're beating the officials and the Eagles.
But I tell you what, though.
That turns that momentum so far in our favor.
I tell you what, though. The play calling, he was off on so many. It took him forever to figure out that you have to run sideline to sideline. You can't run down the middle. Like, it took him to the second half to figure that out.
Yeah, but you want to know something? He still made the change at halftime, which is a good thing. I got to give him props.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when we could have tied the game at 24, that changes the complete momentum, the complete different play calling from the Eagles.
No, that wasn't.
It changes everything.
That wasn't to tie it at 24.
Yes, it was. It was to tie it at 24. He would have won in the end zone. Yes. It was when they had the lead, 24-17.
That was 17. So this is what happened. No, this is what happened. I remember.
No,
17-10. It was 17-10, and then he drops the ball. So then we go on 4th down. Then you have the face mask.
Okay? No.
That was what
No. Tyreek dropped that slant. It would have tied it at 24.
Absolutely.
Over the middle. That would have gotten the complete change of everything from that point on. Yes, it was.
It was 17-10 at that point.
No.
Listen, excuse me, brother. Listen, I was at the game, RD, and what the gentleman is telling you, he is telling you the truth. It was right there. It would have tied the game up.
I watched the game twice.
So yeah, I agree with this gentleman. He's saying it correctly as said. You might have went to the bathroom or something. You might have sat there and drink. I don't know. But I was at the game and the gentleman watched it twice. And exactly what he said. If Tyreek doesn't drop that pass and not think about celebrating, not think about doing whatever.
He was trying to think about cutting because he had one defender to beat. He forgot the most important thing: lock up the ball.
Absolutely. So I'll say this, gentlemen, and I'm going to probably get out of here in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna shut this down at 9:00 anyway. So
Got you. So the way I look at things is this: we have to bounce back against a Patriots team this week coming up that is going to be hungry, and they are rejuvenated because they just beat a rival that we couldn't beat, and we got smoked by 28 points.
You know what?
So, with
I
that
ain't
being
worried
said,
about.
we better wake up. We better wake up on Sunday and
I know
smack.
we do have to wake up, but at the same time, I'm really not worried about the Patriots. I will say this: I'm glad we lost to Philly over Kansas City. We have to beat Kansas City. If we
True.
want, that is a must win. You have to put that down to stay in pace with the top of the AFC. And that's if we lost to an NFC opponent, that doesn't mean crap at the end of the season. Now we need to win. We need to win our games that we need to win. We need to go in there, beat New England, beat them soundly, and then we go in to KC, and that's going to be the battle.
What I'll say to that is, and a lot of people have been saying that, everybody's saying, okay, we lost to Philly, it's no big deal as an NFC opponent. What you got to understand is this: if it comes down to a tiebreaker of records and wins and losses, it does matter at the end.
And I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is, first they go with division,
I
then
agree.
they go AFC. What I'm saying is that this is what the players have to put in their head. That game didn't matter anymore. We need to focus on the rest of the season, game by game.
I agree with you
at the same time, I keep X out this week. I bring in Ramsey for limited action. You know what I mean? For certain plays. You can put him on a pitch count, get him used to game time activity, get him hit, let him hit somebody, and then you you have them both back for Kansas City with X with another week of rest because he's played all season.
Guys, I'm watching the all 22 right now, and that play did happen was 17-10. Okay, so I'm just telling you.
What are you talking about, RD? I'm trying to figure out what you're talking about, RD. Like, what play are you talking about? Because the
one that the Tyreek Hill play where he bumped it off his knee and he went he went to the end zone and he tried to recover it, but it was already ruled incomplete.
That was 17-24, man.
No, 17-10. I'm seeing it live right now.
I'm gonna watch the replay of the game, bro. I'm not worried about it. I'll watch it again, but I was there. I guess I must have sat there and seen something else. I don't know. I guess I must have. But
here's the thing, though. If Tyreek Hill scores, now the offense gets into a groove. That defensive play can still happen. We could be up 24-17. You know what I mean? It doesn't negate our defense playing aggressive and all of that stuff. It's just we could never get into a groove offensively because things just weren't every time we took a step forward, 2 steps back, whether it's penalties, whether it's drop balls.
Even that interception, that was clear pass interference on the interception.
It was 3 things.
If you look back at the play, which I looked at it real slow, you see him put both his hands out to catch the ball, and the guy jumps in front of him as he's being
at worst,
tackled.
it's holding. At worst, it's holding, right? So it doesn't.
But honestly, that's first and goal at the 1 yard line. That's PI. Bottom line, the ball was in the air. That's PI. That's first and goal at the 1. I give our odds to score pretty damn good.
Yeah, but we didn't get 1 penalty. You think you're going to get that? We couldn't get guys involved in the neck. You think you're going to get that?
You see Phillips getting grabbed. Chubb almost grabbing the quarterback, getting tackled from behind.
Listen, thank goodness this was a primetime game. It was a primetime game, and it's the NFL now knows it screwed us up 1 game, so it owes us a game, or it owes us to be fair to us. So now moving in the playoffs, they're going to be
but here's the thing,
offense, right?
I got to give that official balls, man. He's doing on a primetime game and making that obvious. You got to give those officials some they got some balls on them because that's it was that egregious.
I don't think anyone played it. It just ended up playing like that, but I don't think there was any collusion or anything like that. It's just
the guy lives 25 miles.
But that guy, yes. That one guy, yes, he was acting on his own, but I don't think it was
Lewis. What's up, my brother?
What's up, Lewis?
What's going on, Lou?
Hey, Lou, I had your back. I had your back the other night all the way.
Hey, I appreciate that, Todd, man. I appreciate that, man. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on, guys?
Crypto was frustrating me on when I was just listening to it. I couldn't imagine being up there trying to talk to him.
Oh, look at Phillies just started with a home run.
Yes, sir.
Look,
Bomb.
what's crazy about that show with Crypto the other night, I had Crypto on the phone probably mid-afternoon to almost leading up to the show. We were on the phone for like 4 hours.
Damn.
So what you've seen on the show is basically what me and him went through for 4 hours. I'm talking
Dude,
about it was probably even worse on the
Dude,
phone.
how much of your product did you have to go through? Oh my God, I would have needed a lot of it.
Guys,
Hey,
by
man,
the way,
listen.
the Titans are trading everybody, so that means we got
I
another
love.
easy win.
Hey, don't get me wrong. I love Crypto. He's a brother of ours. But damn, that was frustrating.
Hey, man, Crypto is my guy, man. Like,
Yes,
me
I
and him,
agree.
we get heated, we debate, man. But at the end of the day, it's all love, man. That's my guy.
Dude, but I had your back in that argument. Oh my God.
Absolutely. Well, listen, there hasn't been many debates, Todd, that I've lost. I'm just being honest. You know what I'm saying? and that's me being humble. Right? So,
Now you're sounding like a woman. Even when I lose, I win. Damn it.
well,
It is what it is.
But no, honestly, that game was. I was so pissed off. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I was just like, I was frustrated.
oh yeah.
I think the Dolphin faithful, I think the Dolphin fans had every right to be upset, every single one. And I've had everybody ask me, you were there, what did you see? I mean, on social media, on Twitter. And I've answered all types of questions. And I'll tell everybody this. Yeah, we got screwed by the refs, but I'm not going to blame the refs for this loss. I'm not. We play Miami Dolphin football. We open up that playbook. If we sit there and throw a couple more passes out there and stop bitching and actually sit there and test some of their corners and their safeties, then maybe, just maybe, this is a different outcome.
You know what? At the same time, it is kind of hard to get your receivers open when they're being grabbed because Tyreek was getting his uniform ripped.
And even when he was getting grabbed, it was funny as shit. The man was triple teamed, and you saw the whole team fucking running behind his ass when he scored that touchdown. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. He was giving the Eagles defense fits. He was. Period.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
I know. For me, man, we were in a Twitter space today, and shout out to Nene. I guess Channing Crowder does a show with some other guy. I don't want to say a wrong name, so I'll just. Well, he was Rondé Gaston either does the show with him or he was a special guest or whatever.
Okay.
And we listened to that interview or a little bit of that interview today, and Rondé Gaston said the same exact thing that I said and I see Color in the chat. Shout out to Color and Cat. If you don't know, they usually call the games on TFTG.
Yeah,
if you ain't got nowhere,
awesome.
Bro. If you ain't got nowhere to watch the show or the game's not televised, go to TFTG. Those guys do a great job. But I hopped up there with them real quick, and this is where I kind of agree because I said it. It was when I was sitting there listening to it today. I was like, "Oh my God, Rondé Gaston was thinking just like me at the moment." I hopped up on that panel and I said, all the motion and everything is cute, and I'm not saying not to do it, but when you see Tua throwing like no-look passes and some of the play action where it's not like a regular play action, Tua's doing almost like a 360 spin and against the Philadelphia Eagles with that pass rush, it's just taking too long to develop, right? And Rondé Gaston's point today was at the moment, like good teams like Philadelphia with that pass rush, they could care less about the run, really. Let's be honest. They were coming after Tua Tagovailoa. That was their mission. Hassan Reddick wasn't worried about stopping the run. He was on every play, go downhill, I'm going after Tua. So McDaniel, and I said this during the game, and you can ask Color and Cat. I said, just put Tua in the shotgun. You can still have whoever you want in motion, but tell Tua it has to be a simple fix. Hey, 3-step drop, ball out. 5-step drop, ball out. 7-step drop, ball out. But you can't do all this silly shit because that's what, in my opinion, got us in trouble in the first half. It was too much of this, I don't want to call it showboating because I don't think that's what we do. But sometimes it just seems like
Too
Coach
cute.
McDaniel and I
Razzle
love
dazzle.
McDaniel.
Razzle dazzle.
It's just too, bro. He's too smart, and he lets being smart kind of get in the way sometimes. Sometimes it's okay to just say, you know what? Not that we're dummying it down, but listen, this ain't working. We're gonna scratch this, and we're just gonna line up and play football. And you see that even on the touchdown pass to Tyreek Hill, right? The first one, when we're down 10-3 or whatever, or 17-3. 5-step drop, ball out to a, you know what I'm saying? There was no play action. There was no nothing. It was line up. We're going to throw this ball because we know what we're doing. And I
But
think
three times to Hill. 3 times to Hill, that worked. The other 2 times because of penalties and Hill dropped the ball. But that worked, and that was going to work the whole game. But he just didn't pick up on that. He's got to learn from that.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And that's all I'm saying. Listen, again, I came up on Papa Pong Winner's show yesterday during the day. That shout out to those guys. They do a great job as well.
Oh, yeah.
But we said it. I think everybody said it yesterday, or at least for me. And I've always been the one to saying we got to start winning these big games and this and that. I don't know about you fellas. I learned more about my Miami Dolphins in a loss than any of the wins. I could care less that we scored 70 points against Denver. We scored 42 unanswered points against Carolina. Bro, that shit don't matter to me. I know the Dolphins are better than those teams, right? And even with a loss, when we went to Buffalo, it just felt like the team didn't go to play. And Winners, you can speak on this because you were in the building. Just watching it on TV, it looked like my Miami Dolphins, when they landed in Philadelphia, they came to play.
Yes.
The offense, the defense, everybody, there was no quit, there was no give up. And again, dealing with all the elements. Going to Philly, we know the team they got. We know the hostile environment they present in that stadium. I think Miami handled themselves very well.
Yes. I agree.
They were shorthanded. They had the refs not calling, and they still made, and it was still a ball game with 1 or 2 plays.
And the Eagles didn't run. And the Eagles didn't run crazy like that everybody thought they were.
99 yards rushing against us. We held our defense held up well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree.
And that's why I'm not worried. We're about to get better. We're about to get X back. Ramsey, like I said, is going to be back. Armstead's going to be back. A-Chain's going to be back. We're about to get healthy. This is like an extra bonus on top of the trade deadline for us because we're getting players back that are going to be healthy and ready to go for the stretch
run. Think about
run.
it this way. If everybody's back and we're facing these guys in Arizona and it's a neutral crowd and the referees are calling a fair game.
I'm sorry. It won't be a neutral crowd. It won't be Dolphin fans have been waiting too long. It's going to be a Dolphin stadium in Arizona if we're there because we've been waiting so many years.
I don't know about Dolphins fan waiting too long, man, because I see that home crowd always be obliterated.
Just like Germany, it's going to be a Dolphin crowd.
We'll see Germany. Actually, Germany is going to be a telltale sign. But,
hey, fellas, I'm gonna get up out of here. I got a show.
Hey, Lewis, pleasure seeing you, man.
Definitely. Peace, Lewis. Appreciate you, man.
All right, man.
Hey, Winners, you already know. Yeah, I
appreciate you, Lewis. I'm gonna end this in 10 minutes anyway.
Lewis, you're the real OG. Remember that. Always love and respect to you and the family, bro.
Man, you know what? Y'all gonna make me tear up, man. Let me see. Nah, I'm just playing. Alex, you already know I'm the real OG, though. You already know. Hey, y'all boys be good, man. Love y'all.
Love you too, man.
I'll always. Never mind. I'll wait till I talk to Lewis later.
I just got up and just got off of work, guys. So it's I'm just still cannot believe. I cannot believe. I'm sorry, Todd. I apologize.
No, Dolphins, say what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say.
Dolphins riders. I know. We were talking this morning on Stevie D's show, and everybody. But the thing about it is, I'm still. Listen, as much as I love this team, bro, and I bleed aqua and orange, I cannot believe the disrespect that we keep on getting and the narrative that's been thrown out there. It just pisses me off. Like it just makes me want to throw my phone across the room. Like every time I watch his first take and all this stuff, especially Pete too.
It's not even just that. I've been hearing it from our own fans since it happened.
Yeah,
and that's what pisses me off the most. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what, Todd.
Especially Pete.
I'm gonna bring this up tomorrow. In the smoke lounge. See, here's the one thing. I agree with you. I hate the one thing I hate is, oh, I told you so. But however, now I'm not saying anybody on here did it, but you do have a segment of the fan base when we do win, they're more concerned about rubbing it. Oh, I was right about two all along than enjoying the fucking win.
I agree.
That's all they do is, hey, I was right about two, or you're wrong. Don't celebrate. They're more concerned about being a celebration police than fucking actually celebrating
Dude,
the win as a fan
and
base.
that
That's
pisses
why
me off.
and that's why when this happens, those same people are going after them, and back and forth. And this bullshit bickering needs to stop with both
Dude,
sides.
and that's what pisses me off so bad to where I don't want to get up on these shows much anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sick of the bullshit arguing. Dude, let's support our team. We have different beliefs. Yes, you can have a debate, but it doesn't have to get so damn personal, so damn, you know what I mean?
And it happened with and what happened with Color, because Color was celebrating, and you hear somebody in chat go, "Color, you shouldn't be celebrating because you didn't believe in Tua." I'm like, man, what the fuck are you talking about?
You know what? I'm gonna wait. You know
All of
what?
us are Dolphin fans. There ain't
You know what?
nobody.
You know what? Anybody who wants to come after Color is ridiculous. As much as me and Color had our differences, had our back and forths, I still respect the man, and I still love the man as well, because he's a fellow Dolphin fan just like myself.
Hold on,
and he wants to win just as much as we all do.
Me and Color have had our differences, but you know what? That man's paid for so many tickets, so much merch.
Yeah,
that man is a true Dolphin fan,
yes,
and he deserves to celebrate along with us if we're winning. I don't give a damn.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna always have people. You're gonna always have 219. You're gonna always have people in this fan base that's gonna sit there and like the gloat on their own personal shit, and that's just how it's gonna be. And it's in all fan bases. This is a special place for those fans. You leave those fans over there where they are. I love them personally because I like going after people like that. Because when they're wrong, they can't take the criticism. That's the problem with people like that. See, you can sit there and gloat when you're right, but when you're wrong and you're trying to have somebody tell you that you were wrong, and then they try to switch shit up. I love that. I like to see people squirm. So it's all gravy. I love that shit.
You know, go ahead, Todd. I'm sorry.
And people change. You know what I mean? Tua, his first couple years is completely different Tua than what he is now.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So the narrative should change with everybody.
Like not just performance.
We should be happy. We should be happy everybody's turning and supporting the kid. Instead of trying to fight about it, instead of fighting about it.
Performance too. Yeah.
But not just performance wise, but his physical traits have changed in the sense that
his leadership, everything has changed.
When he gets hit now, he knows how to fall, right? He also is now running into sacks, okay? He's also understanding the offense a lot better, so he's able to communicate it less false starts with all that motion. Like we've been way more fluid. Like with us, our biggest downfall is that it's the start of the game. This is what I don't understand. Why don't we receive the football? Because get us started. As long as we get started, we're in motion. We're good to go. Like once we get started, you can't stop us. But it's that crank up, right? So to me, it's like, hey man, when is Mike McDaniels going to finally change those analytics and throw them out the window? Because that doesn't apply to you. You're a juggernaut offense. You have it in you. You just need to believe in yourselves and let the defense cook and do their thing. Like you don't have to overthink this. He overthinks everything to the point where he's competing against himself, because those defenses, they're like the good defenses, they're not going to overcommit. They're just going to play their basic defense and beat them, and that's it.
And it's who's on your schedule. Look at San Francisco. They just lost to Minnesota without Justin Jefferson. And
don't be surprised if the Eagles lose to the Commanders next week. Like,
absolutely, I was calling it. I called that shit. I fucking called it too.
Hey, but what I'm saying is that you don't know with the way this league is going who's going to. San Fran hasn't beaten anybody huge. You don't hear them saying.
Neither has the Chiefs.
I'll
Neither
say
has the
this.
Chiefs.
I'll say this. This thing is a marathon, gentlemen. We all know
Yeah.
this. This is a marathon. We're in the beginning of a marathon. We're
And,
the mid
Hey,
and I don't want to.
but you know what's funny is, about, especially with Dolphin fans, and everybody here could attest to this. When the Kansas City Chiefs loses to a bad team, any given Sunday, this happens.
Right.
When the Dolphins lose to a bad team, hey man, we suck. Everybody off the fucking bridge.
And yes, we did. Hey, we have lost to it. We have lost. We have lost to a bad team. We lost to a bad team. We lost to Buffalo. That's a bad team right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They lost to the Jets. They've lost to the.
It's all about the.
So we
the only
lost to
issue
a
is
bad team.
when these teams
but you
lose
want,
to
but
bad
you.
teams, they've been to Super Bowls, so they've won playoff games. We haven't done that, so that's why we get.
Whoa! When is
This,
Buffalo?
I just.
Who are you talking about? Because I know Buffalo hasn't been to any Super Bowls since.
no, but they've won the division like 3-4 times in a row. And
I
they won
know this,
playoff
but
games.
they always choke in the damn
Yeah.
playoffs. So
Yeah.
they're always.
But Todd, Dolphins writers, and everybody on this panel, shake. The thing is, I want everybody to keep the same energy like they do with us, like with the Chiefs. They haven't beat a team with the winning record yet.
Yeah, but you gotta realize though that the Chiefs have done it for 4 years. They weren't giving this
you know what?
much props to the Chiefs when Patrick Mahomes was doing his rookie
Right,
year. You know
but you want to know something? The Chiefs haven't beaten a team with a winning record, and they don't have the margin of victory that we have.
Yeah,
throughout
but again,
the season.
but again, they have 4 Super Bowls. They have 3 Super Bowls to show for it. So it's
no, I give them that. But here's the problem. Here's
the thing. 3 years from now, if New England, is on the same trajectory as this year, they're not going to get the same cachet they had 5 years ago.
Right, but you want to know something? We're not peaking right now, and I'm glad we're not peaking right now. We want to peak at the end of the season. We want to just keep getting better and learn from our mistakes right now as we're going along. And we're still 5-2. How are we going to complain about being 5-2?
Yeah.
We're barely at 75%.
All right, guys. I just got to the house. Shake. I just wanted to come up here.
I'm gonna
show
shut
some
it down
love
anyway.
to everybody, to you and everybody here up here.
Yeah, give me your final thoughts because I'm about to shut it down. All right, man.
All right, so I'll give my final thoughts real quick. We just gotta keep. You just gotta keep the train moving.
Yeah.
Gotta keep the train moving, and on to New England. After that, on to Germany, and then we run into the bye. Fins up. Let's keep the train moving. Let's get this dub on Sunday, and let's go 7-2 into the bye. Let's go Dolphins. Later, guys.
Later.
Good night.
And final thoughts from me, man. I just want to do like a pre-show on who's reffing the games now moving forward, just so we can know, what to look out for and what background work they have, and where do they live and that kind of thing. So we can be like,
you want to hear? Damn, RD want to pull up. RD finna pull up.
We can be like, is this rigged or what?
We like Doc.
RD said, I'm pulling up.
Yo, he pulling up, yo.
Hey, we like doxing our own fans on Twitter. Let's start doxing these officials.
Yo,
that's it.
Put all their information out.
We have to start a movement that no one's gonna fuck with us, moving forward, because that Philly game, that's gonna be like, hey, remember the Philly game? That's it. That's gonna be the slogan. Remember the Philly game 20 years from now. Remember the Philly game.
Hey, you start putting those. Now the NFL is going to be listening to your channel. Let's go to Twitter and start doxing the officials. Put all their information out. That way, before the game, so they're like, "Oh, damn, we better." Oh,
eyes on you, Judy. All right, guys.
Honestly, let's just pull together for this stretch run and let's enjoy it, man.
Yeah. We need to stop this anti-Tua. Let's just be pro Dolphins.
Yeah, I've been a Dolphin fan for longer than most of the fans that are on these pages. I'm almost 50 years old. I've been a fan since I was less than 10. Okay, and it's just about pulling for your team.
Yeah, exactly. I agree 100%, man. All right, Todd.
Y'all
fins up, baby.
Y'all have a good one, man.
Hey, by the way, Tongue TMI Tuesday tonight, so fins up. All right, later.
Fins up.
And the
Shit,
man of the hour, man. I appreciate
yes.
you for blessing me with your and let the people know where we could catch you, man.
Well, like I like to say, I want to thank Larry King, yourself, and everybody that was on this panel tonight, and I
Yeah,
appreciate
exactly.
having me on. If you like to sit there and watch some more content of the Miami Dolphins, you can watch myself, Papa Paul Ferguson, John O'Halen, Ethan Steep, Tom O'Gara, and others. Even yours truly and my man Shake Money shows up on there. Lewis shows up on there also. Pamela Dolphin shows up on there. You might see OJ McDuffie on there. It is the WCFL Dolphins Talk, which is on Wednesday nights at 8:45 p.m. It is on YouTube and it's also on Facebook. It is a very calm, cool, collective podcast. Everybody is welcome. So if you're ever watching and you ever want to come on, please come on to our platform.
Yeah.
We welcome everybody.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I will be doing the Dolphins watch party with Papa Paul for the Kansas City game. So
that's what's up, brother.
Be on the lookout for that. So with that being said, fins up. No matter what, we out of here.
Peace.
I know you heard me on the radio flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best.